So this picture is not really perfect because it shows superconscient above and inconscient below in the hierarchy, though it is a three-dimensional or round picture. So it is kind of two symbolisms together. So inconscient ocean is round also, which is difficult to envision. It is in between superconscient and our world. It starts with Vijnana, with a supermind or Vijnana entering or projecting itself into this empty space or into this nothingness. So there must be nothingness acting, and it is actually described, Suvarbhano. There is a being which is described in, I think it is 540 hymn to Indra, where it is perfectly described that the rays of the sun are meeting the darkness, and their interaction, their intertwining, creates Svar world, creates these trirochanas, overmind. So overmind consists of interaction of these two, where the pure light in its own domain met with the infinite darkness, and they overlap, and there will be the first division within the consciousness, the gap. So from there it starts, and heaven and earth thing is already in the gap, so to say. As it was described, it is floating on the waters of the inconscient, because inconscient surrounds it. That abhava is around it. Around it in a sense, very strange sense, because there are these levels up to Svar. All of them are there, but at the background there is inconscient. At the background, if you like. Yeah?
So inconscient occurs immediately after the superconscient, as soon as the fall
occurs.
Is that right?
Right. It is that fall or that beginning of creation, as it was described, when these first four emanations fall back, so to say, or fall into their separate existence. And they are all represented in this Vijnana, in the supermind, where the last one, Vijnana, is supermind itself, which kind of holds them or represents them. They begin to create. That separation of them from the source is the beginning of this action with the inconscient. Well, how else can we really better describe it? That the inconscient is at the background of everything here, starting from Svar world. It is somehow in between superconscient and the world. In between it is already there present, and it underlines the whole creation. It is everywhere. Without it, without this gap, there will be no separation of the being. And we see all these separate beings, infinite numbers of separations. It is because of this dark matter, if you like. If you look into the universe, you will see that 80% is dark matter. There is 80% of some darkness which we cannot describe, which we cannot refer to or relate to, because it is not possible to know what it is there. There is no light there. So that darkness is the foundation for this separation, separated consciousness here, and being. Consciousness leads, this separated consciousness leads one being into separation, into different perceptions of the same being in different angles and ways, and from there we have the movement of time and space. So space itself as a gap is that kind of result of that separation.
So this description, I really like this, the description of the night sky, the darkness in the universe, and then the lights, pinpoint lights of the different
Right.
stars. These become the different lights. These are representative of the different lights of consciousness, or the different lights of the gods.
Right.
And without that darkness, we could never see those points of light.
No, we would not have them separate, so to say. We would not have them different.
We would not see them as separate stars.
Yeah, we would have only light, as it is in superconscient. One light, which is not separated. One being, which is not separated. Now, we have many beings now. They are all children of that one being, viewed by consciousness, this separated consciousness, differently. And because of that, viewing them differently in time and space, we have them different. And that's the beauty of this becoming many, or becoming another, seeking for otherness of self. But we are all him, of course, all that one superconscient being, only viewed differently through this deity or separated consciousness, or separative, or I don't know, separating consciousness.
Okay. And then, so what seemed a little confusing to me, so I get the transcendental, the Daksha, Amsha, Surya, the Vijnana then would be the Surya, Vishnu, Indra realm, right?
Yes, interesting that you're thinking of what are these triple Svar world. Yeah, I showed triple supermind, Daksha, Amsha, and Surya, and I put them in this hierarchy, as you see, mental, vital, and physical, because they will be reflecting this principle. This.
Oh, I see. So you're saying Daksha is aligned with the heaven, Amsha with the Antariksha, and Surya with the earth?
Yeah,
Surya below.
No. It's not like one-to-one. It is the principle of Daksha is the oneness of all. It is the most unifying element. Amsha is diversity in oneness and oneness in diversity. And Surya is the principle of diversity, this rays of light which it will manifest. So to say...
But it does then correlate, because...
Yes, it correlates.
Heaven is sattva.
Yes.
And the sattva is, so it does, there is a correlation between the three realms and these three gods, the three principles.
Exactly. But in the kind of conceptual way, Surya is the individualization of that oneness. That's why Surya is the supermind, because from there the whole individualization is taking place. It is the purpose of this Bahusyan, to become many. And these three reflected in our triple world as physical, vital, and mental. Mental is the most unifying, conceptualizing. Vital is more diversifying and holding in that diversity in oneness. And physical is totally diversifying. There is nothing in the physical world which is identical or similar even. So in that sense, they are conceptually reflected. And you are asking, what is there in the Svar world? What are the three godheads? Which is not totally, but I can say in my kind of studies, I came to this, that Vishnu will be that Amsha level, Vishnu, over mental level, in the center. On the top will be Savitar. And Savitar as the movement of Surya in terms of force. Not Surya itself, not the Atman, but the Vashi, the Lord.
The projection of his rays, maybe.
Yes, his force, his lordship. And the Indra will be the lower bit.
So is Svar the same as Vijnana? the same realm? I mean, you have them separate here. That's what surprised me a little bit.
Svar and Vijnana are two different worlds, yes? Vijnana is that the Daksha, Amsha and Surya, and Svar is the world where these godheads of the Adityas are already acting upon this inconscient. They are already being separated in their actions. And this, the very first separation will be of Savitar's movement of the...
Okay. So we have Satyam in the realm of Daksha, Amsha, and Surya, and we have Ritam in the realm of Indra, Vishnu, and Savitri.
Even more difficult. Ritam is also part of the superconscient of Vijnana. Satyam, Ritam, Brihat are three forces of this. It is rather Ritam will be Amsha, yeah? Satyam will be Daksha, and Surya will be Brihat, if you want. So Daksha is Satyam, Amsha is Ritam.
Okay.
And because of that, you have this sense that it is in the Svar world the Ritam will be dominant. It is true. Because of Amsha, because oneness, diversity in oneness and oneness in diversity becomes the major principle there. There will be the play of these two, and there the rhythm is the major force. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I'm thinking of the Svar as where the dynamism occurs within the universe, which now becomes unfolding truth, right? The unfolding truth of the moment, or the dynamic aspect of truth. So that's why I was equating it more to kind of that realm that Vishnu and Indra.
Yes, but if you imagine this simple thing, that which is not visible on this picture, that Daksha and Surya includes Svar, and includes heaven and earth. We have to unfold them. That's why we show them in the space.
So if you were to, if you, sorry, I get stuck on these things, but this is sort of how it helps me understand these. If we were to, for the superconscious, if we were to draw a complete circle the whole way around this picture, and call it the superconscious, and immediately below that draw another complete circle and call that the inconscient ocean, and then everything here would be within it. Would that be
Right. There will be something like the one circle will be superconscient, and within that circle will be another circle, which will be infinite circle, the same infinite, which is difficult to present in three-dimensional thinking. But that can, if we can imagine as infinity, that will be the inconscient, included within superconscient.
Yeah, and included, encompassing Vijnana all the way through.
Yes, Vijnana itself.
All the levels.
Vijnana itself is that appearance of the Vijnana includes the inconscient. Yes.
Separation.
Yes, it is including the inconscient ocean. It is not separate from it. It is including it. And that is the fantastic and difficult thing, and because we think that the infinite ocean must be outside the infinite or superconscient, inconscient, and they have to be like two oceans, above and below. And that is our perception of those who are embodied within this darkness or within this world, manifestation. We have the perception of above and below, of the movement towards light and movements towards darkness. And because of that, we can't really get out of this picture, because we never saw it from outside, so to say, with his eyes.
Yep, that's exactly about we thought of inconscient as literally, almost literally below everything else. But this helps.
And that's why we find within the inconscient, at the bottom of that darkness, the light, the superconscient light, and that's the secret of the Veda, that they knew that the light is all over, all around us. It's not only above. And by the way, to go above is also a big question. We cannot break through heaven and go above to the superconscient. We can't do it. We need Svar world to break through to us. And for us to come to Svar world and to come to Vijnana and above, there was one way. It is to go through Antariksha, to enter that crack, with consciousness, and go into this passage which may lead you above or below. You may fall into the abyss of inconscient, or you may go up to the superconscient. From there are two paths, so to say, and they are well described in Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, which is his experience. But we come to the heaven as the sealing. It is a sealing, sealed. We cannot, it's the same with the physical, we cannot break through that bottom to the inconscient, and we cannot break through the ceiling of heaven to the superconscient. It's like an egg in which we are kind of held, sealed. But the Vijnana or the Svar world with Indra's lightnings can break through our ceiling, can break. From there they can act upon us and bring their light. That's why what we can do, we can act from our Antariksha. What is here happening is very interesting, that the aspiration rising from the earth, the aspiration which is rising from that superconscient from below, to find itself within this darkness, we feel it, we embody it here, but we have to support it with the word rising or coming from the depth of our being, from the heart. It is from this Antariksha where Brihaspati's supreme movement is. So the Shiva's movement from below of the supreme sun is rising and has to be met with the superconscient from above, but it cannot reach to it through this darkness. In the darkness it is becoming kind of diluted, disappears. It is becoming weakened and so on. So it has to be supported by the word from within the heart, from Antariksha, and that is Brihaspati's movement, formed, shaped by the word, this aspiration, and by that pushed above, pushed towards heaven. And when it is pushed toward heaven this way, then Indra's lightning can break through and meet this aspiration, this Agni from below. And then Indra and Agni become that, when they are united with the word of Brihaspati, then we have the completion of the sacrifice. So these superconscient movements are meeting within this darkened space, separated consciousness. That is the idea of the sacrifice. And that's why the word is so important, because it is shaping the aspiration from below into a new power. As Rishi says, he created this hymn as a chariot by which he will rise to heaven. So he can rise to heaven now with this chariot of the hymn, of the word. That aspiration, that force which is coming from below, is now shaped into the conscious force with intention to realize heaven. Before, it didn't have any intention clearly defined, or it was not clear to the outer consciousness what it was. It was a need of something, a need of a better life, a need of some achievement, but it wasn't formulated in consciousness. And that is the understanding why these hymns are so important.
So the word carries conscious force.
Right.
That conscious force is what can meet, as you're describing it, that conscious force, which is an upwards force, can meet with Indra's, with Indra.
Yeah, Indra can respond to it, yes, to this call.
Respond, and with his lightning pierce
Right.
the darkness of
Right.
the unconscious, or pierce the egg of the unconscious to form a crack.
I think so. He breaks the ceiling from above.
Okay, that's very interesting and a lot to think about or to meditate on. So, but I like this picture. I really got the sense that this was, that there was. It's a unique way. It's a different way of explaining it than how I was trying to show it in my form that I sent you, that had things kind of naturally going from the top to the bottom.
It's also all right. You see, we have to only see where our language is, yes? We have to understand that it is all symbolic. We have to reach out to something which is real, and using different languages, different structures. And for me, it's also a very new thing. I never could find really a language to explain it, but I always felt that every time you explain it, something is missing. And
something new you discover.
Right. Maybe one day we will find the way to present it totally, but you see, we are doing it in time. This is the problem. When I'm explaining to myself one thing, then other thing is fading away. And that thing is kind of getting clearer. And after that, I take the other thing, and that thing becomes weaker, which was previously strong. Because time plays this kind of dilution of inconscient is constantly present, It dilutes the perception, dilutes the light. And we cannot really make it come together. We cannot get all three movements together, so to say. And rishis could make it. So basically it's a good explanation psychologically what is happening, why we cannot really explain it, because we are doing it with this diluted consciousness. Mind is diluting.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the mind, the natural mind, right, the normal, rational mind is more of has more of a separating or contrasting or quality of distinguishing rather than finding the unity and bringing it together. So we begin from a point of potentially of disadvantage if we don't move past the distinguishing qualities, right, to the qualities that unify all these.
Right.